What do you call yourself at 60 plus that has meaning for your next 50 chapters? In other words, what name do you give yourself about that life ahead, that 60 plus life ahead? And most people share their professional title or their familial title. But I'd ask you now is what brought you here now? Even listening to this video or to this aspect of living your legacy life. And it might be answers like, for your unique journey, fear of something. You don't want to miss out on something, or you've got to deal with something here in your life now. What you're looking for is connection because you seem to be slipping away from connections and relationships with others. You might be seeking a transformation of some kind. You know that things are happening, and how might I transform how I'm living? And what impact does my life matter? Questions like that. As you move over into your thoughts about adventures together, in other words, interacting with others, what role do you want to demonstrate so others can see it, whether it's family or friends? Is there any kind of reciprocation that will take place as you move through what it is that you're doing and being? And then there's the practicality of, well, I have this knowledge and wisdom. What can I do with it? Where can I share it? And what hope do I have of shifting some things that I'm experiencing around me at this point in time? And this question, these thoughts, what they spark is something in what I'd like to share about this journey of wealth movement to living legacy life, to living legacy stories, to living legacy outdoors, into what I call Legacent. Legacent is a term that reflects the combination of legacy, mentor, and agent or agency. And it was a term that came to me in writing about what's happening for me in my life. And I was attempting to figure out if I'm going to assist those in this wealth movement, living legacy life, into stories, into the outdoors, what would I call myself? Legacy mentor? Well, that's where I started. But then I started leaning into Legacent. And where it comes from is the legacy is about the gifts that you share so others can learn from you. The idea of docent, now this is a term that's used in museums to help identify the person who's guiding you around as you look at the exhibits and the dioramas in the museum. And what also takes place is that you're adding agent and agency or efficacy, the sense of control, to determine the quality of your experiences. So a Legacent is dealing with the gifts that they want to share so others can learn. They're doing it in such a way that there's mentoring, in a sense, involved, but it's done through guiding, so a guide on the ride, with the weaving together of this thing about determining the quality of your experiences. So the Legacent term is for you as much as it is for others. And having been or still being an educator, an outdoor educator, an adult outdoor educator, or a champion of nature-inspired stories and contributions and projects, then I believe that this story of Legacent, this identification or identifier of Legacent, might be of value to you, and that's why I'm bringing it forward. Now, I'm going to actually write a book about it and bring it out and see if I can really enthuse those being for the world with the planet from the whole. And there's 5 core elements to Legacent. The first core element is holistic. Then it moves to reciprocal, hospitality, conversational, conservational. So let me go through them. holistic in the sense that there's a realization everything is connected, even from the smallest to the biggest, the narrowest to the widest, everything is connected. And I think of that is that if I was to pick up a pencil at one end, guess what? I pick up the other end as well. Everything is connected. The second one is reciprocal, is that there is a sharing that is taking place. Now, I appreciate when I use legacy and gifting, there is giving and receiving, but the gift that you're sharing is the one that you believe will be of value. The interactions that take place around that, that's where the reciprocal aspect starts to take place. And that's where like mentor and mentee start to interact in such a way as that the mentee becomes a mentor to the mentor. And things switch around and it actually just blossoms and blossoms. The hospitality is around welcoming those who've not arrived yet, the intergenerational story. And saying is that of what it is that I am going to be being, having, and doing as my legacy, what's happening from those generations out back into where I am today? What's that impact and influence that's going to be happening? And then there's the conversational aspect, the dialogue, the meaning flowing through, is that you're not in discussion or debate. While they can be helpful at times, for the most part, you're in this dialogue conversation. And if you can get to multi-log, where you're sharing with a whole bunch of people, that's great. But the conversation, collaborative conversations, are important to a Legacent. And then conservational is that there is a sense of looking at not wasting resources, time, effort, and money, not putting a burden on the planet or on others, and taking a look at how it is that all can benefit from what's taking place. So this holistic, reciprocal, hospitable, conversational, conservational approach is core platform to what it is to be a Legacent. When asked about the practicality of being a Legacent, there is a couple of things I would suggest. There are three here at this point in time, and a lot more are going to follow in videos to come, because I want to give this sense of wealth movement, well-being, well-living, and this physicality to social cultural movement through living this legacy life, this gift that you wish to share, through legacy living stories, the creation of stories that can become contributions and projects. And living legacy outdoors, I'm associating this video with adult outdoor educators, but you can take that back and say educators as a whole. And could it be for grandparents? Could it be for youth groups? Could it be about travel? Could it be about cooking? So living legacy, whatever you would like to put there. So of the practicalities that go with this in all those different ways as a Legacent, what you could do is on a daily basis, check in and write down what's happening. Now, again, well, isn't that just journaling? Yes. But if you do it through the lens of that holistic, reciprocal, hospitable, conversational, conservational, I think you will find that things shift a little bit in terms of what's possible for you and where you're lining up your gifts. And a question you can ask yourself is, what can I learn today? And go find an answer to that question, and therefore go on a quest to find an answer. And it could be any number of things. Each day I go out and say, okay, how can I improve my video work? How can I focus my writing so that I get everything in an order that makes sense? The questions like that, you have questions that you can go get answered. So go for it, enjoy, write those down. You might find that there's something there that you can share with others. Another one is the walking story maps. Walking around your neighborhood and seeing what's there, what stories are unfolding. There may be seasonal, There may be times of interaction with people in the morning or afternoon or evening, just walking and creating stories and then mapping it out, maybe for use later, or it might become a diagram, it might become a painting, it might become a sculpture. There's lots of different ways in which to take this walking story map and enjoying it, even to the point of answering that question. You're going to go find an answer or just writing down what you see each day. There's amazing practical aspects there that help you in being, having, and doing Legacent. And that is such an enjoyable way in which to encounter your next 60, your 60 plus years. So as we move forward, what's your legacy? How is it that you can be a Legacent in answering that question of what is your legacy? And doing it from a unique journey point of view for you, adventures together with others, the combination of the two of them as you establish a community network. There's lots of ways in which to, in a sense, do Legacent. And that's what I'm encouraging you to think through, feel through, sense through, and see what happens for you. The videos that are popping up now, there is a video that's recommended for you in terms of your viewing interactions, but there's also the playlist link of the shorts. Those are great prompts for the practical day-to-day, even walking story map. And comments are appreciated. Take care.